Have you ever wondered why there was a second Avatar cartoon show after The Last Airbender? It's something fans didn't ask for, and yet it's here to stay, and there are people who enjoy it as much. Described only as a sequel to the Avatar classic, The Legend of Korra brought something new and which can be followed from what was firstly presented. And judging by how much the series was well received, it must have been carefully thought out by the makers as The Last Airbender was. In fact, these creators are responsible for making the boat series to be. I guess even the creators themselves enjoyed it and thought, why not expand on it? But what if there was to be a third Avatar show? Would the creators ever make the decision to add another chapter that can live up to the other two series? And can they do more after that? If it's possible, in this video of mine, I give my best suggestions of what content there ought to be. And be advised, all my points are related to only a third series. Any more series to follow up from it ought to have different points unless stated otherwise, and with some exceptions. Also, not every one of my points would be utilized. Some would be for another follow-up series or even a spin-off if necessary. Now, obviously, there would be new characters. Most importantly, one of them is to be the new Avatar after Korra. The rules say this cycle is followed according to who is next to be Avatar. The cycle goes in the order of Airbender, Waterbender, Earthbender, and Firebender. So in the case of the series after The Legend of Korra, the next Avatar after her must be from the tribe of Earthbenders. And as always, there should also be other characters supporting the Avatar, and at least one of them is from each of the other tribes. If there's going to be some characters appearing from the succeeded two series, at best alongside the new characters, they have to look older according to how much time has passed. Should there be references to past characters like Aang and Zuko? Only if the plot requires it. And of course, the heroes are being shown because of the current antagonists of that time. How many antagonists depend on what's currently happening in the series. Any other characters that have supporting roles, they should be given the necessary screen time. That's all to say about them. So for the most part, it is expected that brand new characters are who the audience focuses on. Secondly, there'd have to be a time jump. When people started watching The Legend of Korra, it was evident enough that a lot has happened after the events of The Last Airbender. I just didn't expect to see things like vehicles and skyscrapers coming to be. Not in that particular world. So the third series will have to take place in a following era, and one where we might see vehicles looking more modernized, houses and buildings looking different enough, a little more infrastructure at least, and maybe even the birth of computers and the technology for it. And not to forget those spiritual beings allowed by Korra to enter and thrive with the humans. How many years have passed since the second series depends on the events during that period and what happened before, which we did not see. So yeah, there's a lot to see on the time the story takes place. But what are my best speculations? Well, now that the airbending civilization is restored thanks to Korra, I'm certain to see absolute changes to society. Rules would be changed to those competitive sports that involve bending the elements. I personally I personally like to see military forces according to tribe. This is inspiration from the already existing metal bending police force founded by Toph. The makers can take it at least one step further. One force could be from the water tribe that works similarly to the Navy or Marines, and another could be from airbenders similar to the Air Force. And then there's blood bending derived from the water bending. I know, it's frightening. In the third series, they'd either make blood bending illegal or temporarily until an elite but legal unit of waterbenders that involves it is formulated. When I think about it, it can be useful for immobilizing the worst of criminals. There could also be a squadron for the firebending tribe licensed to bend lightning. I'd also like to see when specific elements combine to activate unique attacks such as fire and air, or water and air, or earth and fire, or water and earth. It's a good thing to watch element benders of different tribes team up, but this is how I would really enjoy when they join forces. Bolin can bend lava as an earthbender related to a firebender, which of course is his brother Mako. It must be because their parents were each a firebender and an earthbender, but I digress. I'd like to see more stuff like that. It can be that lava bending is done by earthbenders and firebenders, especially when related to each other, and they can come up with something special for both waterbenders and airbenders to do. If it ever might be the case that people aren't espousing their own tribes anymore, this evolution of bending elements is the effect. Just to be on the safe side, it takes a lot of researching, studying, and experimenting before the correct logic can be agreed upon and implemented to the show, so not everything I stated can be correct. That being said, the production team should consider referencing an illustrated chart or something. But what I find interesting is when you are manipulating one element while related to someone who manipulates another element, you discover something truly unique. And that's something worth seeing on the series. I'd also like to see more interactions with humans and the beings from that spiritual realm. There should also be a new president of the United Republic of Nations who may be a good helper for the Avatar. It may not be Zhu Li unless the time jump isn't big enough, but the show can still give note that she indeed was president. There can also be schools and training facilities for children and youths who have bending abilities manifested in them. And non-benders should have a role as well. The least I can say, they'd be doing jobs that would at least upkeep themselves and benders neighboring them. Now, if a third series is to happen, there should also be a reason for that. What new problems arise? Does any of them have any connection with any event from the first two series? The makers can execute something like the spirits being able to roam with the humans, resulting a new dilemma. What about the northern and southern water tribes now being independent states? Is that causing new problems? Would the problems necessitate that the two places would have to become a bi-state again? Maybe there would be that the airbending civilization has gone corrupt and attempt to take over the world from believing that they are the weakest, especially after when the Fire Nation extinguished all the air nomads, but Aang was the only one left, and hence something similar to World War II. Well, whatever the situation, it's the Avatar's job to do what's right and make things right. Right? What about other stuff? If the comedy, drama, and action was at the right level and with right timing, and the right logic was applied for the both series, we should expect all the same in this third series. I like when in the second series the recap of the previous episode is done in a newsreel manner. In this next series, recapping the previous episodes could be like during the era after when there were newsreels. They could also begin each episode similar to the first two series, state each natural element that can be manipulated and that only the Avatar can master all of them. The intro can also describe the main premise of the series. I know it was done for the first series, it didn't happen for the second series, presumably because it was more than one key situation. So the opening scene depends on the storyline of the whole series, and the correct actors and actresses are to be selected to bring the characters to life. And most importantly, the two brilliant minds of the world of Avatar, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, are to be the firstly credited as they are involved in the production. Enough said about it. So a third Avatar series is up to the makers. If they ever have a new idea of a new story, they won't hesitate to make a move. They'll do everything crucial to ensure this next series is worth the entertainment next to all their other work. And they may not stop at a third series, they just might keep doing it, as much as they can think of. It just depends on how many questions to answer and how many concepts to explore in that universe. So, when our renowned creators say it will happen, we will get it. But now I want to see what you say. Are you interested in seeing another Avatar series? Do you think there should be another Avatar series? And if you do, what would you like to see in that series? Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.